Hi scholars, Dr. Ratcliffe here. I just wanted to make a brief video since I've been getting a few questions about the team presentation. And so to help facilitate this discussion, I want to open up assignment 6, which is team discussion 3. This is where you will be, as a team, choosing a PowerPoint background, and I want to discuss PowerPoint. I've gotten a few questions from some team leaders asking if they are responsible for the entire team's PowerPoint. No, you are not. Please don't do everyone's work for them. All you're doing, and you'll do it in this discussion, is you will, as the team leader, if you are the team leader, you will propose a PowerPoint background. And so this first posting goal, you're doing something else. You can read about it. Everyone has a job to do here. And then, you will want to scroll down to the posting goal 2. This is where it's talking about, sorry about this, people. Here we go. This is where it's talking about the PowerPoint. And basically the team member 1, who is also the team leader, will choose a PowerPoint template. Template means a design draft. You're basically choosing the background. And then everyone should vote on the background. Do we like it? Does it kind of fit what we're doing? Is it not too busy? Does it look professional? And, so you have a little discussion about that. And then a background is chosen. And so what should happen is then everyone, when they design their own slides that they will show during their portion of the presentation, that background will be on it, right? And so here is an example of a consistent team presentation. Now remember, this example, and I have it here, right here, the student that created this draft included pictures only for their part of the speech. And then they included blank slides for all the other team members. You do not have to do this, okay? If you feel generous and you want to just, here's all your blank slides, all you got to do is fill in the blank, you're welcome to do that, but you do not have to do it. You're not responsible for it. Basically, all you are responsible for doing, whether you're the team leader or any other team member, is creating your own slides using that shared background that the team has decided upon. And so please keep that in mind. If y'all want to use Google Docs and then everyone just insert their own slides, that's fine. You don't have to. But you can. If you just want to use PowerPoint, what I would recommend is, instead of trying to culminate everyone's slides into one big PowerPoint, I would just make sure everyone has access to that background and they make their own slides on their own backgrounds. And you don't really have to, because you're not getting together as a group in one place to present this. You don't really have to put everyone's slides in the big PowerPoint. Does that make sense? I mean, really, you are going to be giving your portion of this team presentation still in the privacy of your home or at your workplace or wherever you're giving your other speeches, in front of your live audience, right? And so you really don't need the other team members' slides. And so you can do it one of two ways. You can do one big Google Slides where everyone just is inserting into that shared document, and then when it comes time for you to present yours, you're just showing your slides during your presentation. Or the team can agree on a PowerPoint background. Everyone just designs or creates their slides in PowerPoint, just theirs alone, not coordinating, team member 1 slides and then team member 2 slides and then team member 3, so forth and so on. And just make sure that the background that everyone's showing on their PowerPoint is consistent. And so those are some things that you want to keep in mind. But just note that this example, I'll open it up here for you. As team leader, this just shows you kind of what it could look like. But once again, the team leader does not need to be making slides for everyone. You just are responsible for making your own slides. So while we're waiting for this to open up, I just want to reassure you that as with any speech in this class, the team presentation is really no different in how you record it and how you gather your own audience for it. And so you will still want to plan for that. Some people get the weird idea that certain speeches in this class don't require an audience. Get rid of that idea. I mean, in order for things to be counted as a public speech, every speech that we give has to have a public for you to speak to. Otherwise, you would just be chatting along to your video camera like I'm doing right now. And so just make sure that you are planning ahead so you have a live audience ready for all of your speeches. Something else that you want to do while you are considering your team presentation is you always want to end your portion of the team presentation by introducing the next speaker. And so that's something that you want to coordinate as well. I think there might be a discussion about that, and we will look at that later. So here our sample presentation is finally open. And we see that there's just a basic intro slide. This group's topic was animal cruelty. And then the team leader has this little intro where they're talking about this particular dog and violence. And then the team leader is basically previewing what the rest of the presentation is going to be about. And so this is important. If you're a team leader and you're introducing the whole presentation, you're not just introducing your section, but you're introducing what your teammates are talking about too. You need a preview so the audience can understand what to look for and we can know who is speaking. And so after you have your attention getter and your maybe a little opening story and you have a thesis here about violence and animal cruelty, you're going to preview who the people are who are presenting in your group and what topics they're going to be talking about. Now you're the first speaker, you're the first main point, and so after the introduction, you're going to go into the problem. And so you're still speaking, and this is your section of the presentation. So you're going to discuss the problem of animal cruelty. And so this is an unfinished design template, but basically, you would look at it here. Here's several slides about the problem. And then the second team member is going to start talking about different charities or nonprofits that work to address the problem of animal cruelty. And so you start to see, here's some slides. Here's the history of this charity. Here's the present. Here's what they're doing. Here's how people can help this charity. And they have 2 slides about that. I don't know why that is. And then here's the second charity that addresses animal cruelty. And so you can just go through and see how this will be divided. And so everyone kind of has the same order. Everyone's talking about the history, the present, and how people can help if you're talking about a charity. If you're the team leader and you're talking about the problem, you're talking about the history of the problem, you're talking about the present situation, how the problem is showing up in society today, and then you're talking about what will happen if this problem is not addressed in the future. And so there's some similarities there, but remember, team member 1, you've kind of got a different task. And so you can just kind of see one big long team PowerPoint, and you can see that it then has a conclusion. The team leader does the conclusion, and you summarize what people have said. You summarize the topics of your team members and kind of maybe go back to the original story about this little dog, Augie, and then you just kind of have a nice closing to the whole presentation. So this example is just an example of having a consistent slide design, consistency in a slide introducing the next speaker. And so think about that when you're designing your slides. And then you want to just make sure that everyone understands that whether you're doing everyone inserting their own slides into a Google Docs or each person just doing their slides on PowerPoint, we share a consistent background. I feel like I'm being super redundant, but I just want to give you some clarity there. And then the last post for the team leader, you're probably getting used to this, is where they basically say, here's what we've decided, here's the PowerPoint, the template that we're going to use. And then at that point, there's the green light for you to start designing your own slides or creating your own slides and putting that background on your slide. And so that's something that you want to consider if you are working ahead, looking ahead, that this next discussion will be dealing with the PowerPoint for that team presentation. One final note, you may notice here in red that you do have an option to fire a teammate that's not participating. And so as the team leader, or maybe just a team member, if you're noticing someone's not really showing up on the discussion boards, or it seems like most people are participating pretty well, but if you have a concern, please try to contact them first and then let me know. I'm seeing too who's not participating, but there is an option to fire that person. Just get them out of the group. If that happens to you, it's not the end of the world, though you certainly don't want it to happen to you, because there's some extra work involved if you choose to finish out the semester. And so that is a little bit about the team presentation and the slides that go with that. And we're just trucking along. We're almost halfway done, so I just want to encourage you to keep going and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks so much.